G'day folks, Ben from Sony's today showing you how to set up the Falcon Pro and X-Treme awnings from 23ZERO.
Hit it.
These Falcon awnings from 23ZERO have an easy to set up fold out design done simply with one person, have integrated poles for extra stability and pack up nice and easily, and the included tonneau cover. Before we dive in, we've got loads more content like this on our channel, so make sure you like and subscribe below. Now let's jump into the product. We are down here at the National 4x4 and Outdoor Show in Sydney. On the 23ZERO stand today, they've got loads of new products that we're trying to film for you today. What I'm showing you right now is the setup and packed out of their Falcon awnings. This is the X-Treme awning behind me here on this vehicle. There's also a Pro awning. Setup packed down is largely the same. The X-Treme has an extra arm out the back for a bit of extra stability and offers a little bit of extra coverage, but setup we're covering today. Now this is mounted on the side of the vehicle. It's actually attached to this Sabre rooftop tent here through the rails at the back here on the brackets that are included. Backing plate here, and the awning runs down the side. Now the awning's about 25 kilos, about 2.2 meters in length and about 15 to 20 centimeters in diameter depending on where you measure it. So to set it up, we've got to unzip this heavy duty cover that goes all around. It's right around the outside, so it offers really good weather protection. Heavy duty zips that run up the sides there, right along the bottom. And as we get to the front, we've got this flap that sits over here just to stop water ingress while the car's driving. So that sits over that front zip there. And we can then throw this tonneau cover over the back of the whole awning frame there. We've now got 3 straps, 1, 2, 3 on the awning here. Once we undo these, they're just Velcro straps, undo them, they sit loose, they're attached at the back there, they sit loosely there. Once we undo these, the fabric is going to fold down, and as this unrolls, the frame's going to want to start to come out. Now, slight differences here between the X-Treme and the Pro. The Pro won't have kind of this double triangle thing here, a little bit less fabric. And the X-Treme also has extra arms at the front here. So there's 4 arms that want to swing out to the back and 2 arms to the front. The Pro has got less arms. Check out our features video on the exact differences there. But whatever the case, both of them will swing out, one this way and one to the front. Pull this arm right around to the front of the vehicle here, and then we've got a little loop on the back of this rafter here, which marries up with the strap here. Now I've attached this strap on the opposite side of our vehicle. It just needs to attach somewhere on the vehicle or anchored on the vehicle. Loops through this loop here, and then you've got a little cam buckle partway up the strap here just to tighten this up. So don't do it up too tightly just yet, because we need to do the same thing at the rear of the vehicle. Grab the back arm here and pull it all the way around. Now I'm pulling 4 arms around the back here. This is the X-Treme awning. The Pro awning won't have this arm sitting along here. But once again, setup is pretty much the same. We've got, once again, a loop on the back of this rafter here that marries up with the hook on the strap that I've put on the other side of the vehicle here. And I'm just going to step up on the back of the car so I can then tighten this cam buckle. If I pull this tight, it will then pull this rafter tight across the back of the vehicle here. So that's sitting firm, like sort of level there now with the vehicle. I'm now going to go around to the first strap at the front of the vehicle and pull it so that all of this pulls tight right around to get all this slack out of the fabric. Now that's the awning set up in freestanding mode, and you can use it like this if you like in really mild weather, but use a bit of common sense, and it's really not that hard to set these poles up anyway because it will move around a little bit. Bit of gust of wind under here is going to pick that up. These poles are integrated into the frame here, so all you need to do to set these up is undo this Velcro strap here, drop the pole down like this. It's telescopic, so the bottom extends out here, lock it into place, tighten that up, and then at the top of each point here you've got a guy rope point. So there are guy ropes included, or you could upgrade to easy to use guy ropes like the Tiger guy ropes. Clip it in here, peg that out, and that's going to give this awning extra stability, so it's going to stay in place no matter what the weather. There are 4 of these integrated into the X-Treme awning and 3 into the Pro awning. Recommend you put them up all the time. Now I haven't used guy ropes here today because I can't get the pegs in the ground, but with this pegged out, it's a really secure awning and gives about 11.5 square meters of coverage, 6 meters from the back to the front here, so heaps of room. Now if you're using this at night time, it's actually got integrated lighting. And each of these white panels here is a LED light strip. It's incorporated into the frame, and you've got a plug here, and you get the wiring cable in this little bag here that's attached to the sail track. We open that up, pull this wire out, and you've got plenty of length in the wire there. Plugs into a USB power bank, and on the other end you've got 3 plugs close together and then 1 plug that extends a little further out. These 3 plugs go in these 3 ports here. So we get 1, 2 and 3. Now use the frame when you set this up to just kind of get the wires up and out the way. So this is the last plug that goes on our front rafter. So I'm actually just going to tuck this over the top of the rafter here just to get that up and out of the way. I'll pull the whole cable through. So you can see you've got plenty of length to go to a USB power bank somewhere else. I'll run this along the top here. Now you could use maybe these straps here or something just to keep it up and out the way, if you like. Run it right up to the front rafter. I'm going to loop it around the front rafter just to tighten it up. Plug it in there, that's up and out the way. And coming back to a cable here, you've got about 2 meters of cable, so you could run this to somewhere else in the vehicle if you like, but I've got a power bank that I'm going to run it off of here. Plug it into my power bank, that's now got power going to it. We've got a switch on the cable here. Middle button scrolls through the settings from cool light, then a daylight I suppose, and then a warm light. So each press just scrolls through those 3 settings and off again. And then the buttons on the top and the bottom both brighten and dim it. So that's the brightest setting at the moment. If I hold down on the negative button, you can see these lights dim right down to just enough to probably just sit under and relax, I suppose. If you're cooking dinner, actually functioning under here and you need light to do stuff by, turn it right up so you've got plenty of light under the awning. Now, there's one last thing that comes included with your awning, and that's this Weatherstrip here. Now this has got a sail track or a heater strip in here that marries up with the sail tracks in both the awning on the back of the, the rail on the back of the awning here, and the same on the front. If we slide this into here, we've then got this little strap that we can kind of use to enclose this gap here. This doesn't work so well with my rooftop tent here, but that's providing some shelter anyway, because I've got the ladder and things in the way. But the front of the awning as well, you can slide it on there to just cover the gap between the passenger side door and the awning to give you a little bit of extra weather protection. That is how to set up the 2308 Falcon awnings, both the Pro and the Extreme version. As I mentioned, the difference with the Extreme being that you get this extra rafter at the back here. So it's not as suitable for vehicles with a lift up tailgate. And there's also a zip access point in the top here to access a rooftop tent at the rear. But otherwise, the setup process is largely the same with one person. Now, pack up is largely the same. First thing we want to do is make sure we pack our cable away so that doesn't get pinched in the rafters as we fold it up. Then we're going to take the guy ropes out, walk around. I would normally have the pegs in, take the pegs out, take the guy ropes out, collapse the upright poles up against the rafters here and secure them with the Velcro. Then we undo the clips at each end, which will allow the frame to swing around to the side of the vehicle. So the rafters are now all hanging on this side of the vehicle. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and 2 on this side. Now, if I hold the front 2 arms in first, you might need to just push these arms out the way a little bit to give it clearance, and push that so that they sit one on top of each other. So I've got one arm here, flat up against the backing plate. As you go, try to keep this fabric sort of as smooth as you can. The least folds you've got in this, the easier it will be to fold up against the, or back in the tonneau cover. We can then sort of pull these across, and that will then secure those first 2 arms. These sit one above the other as well. So we've got these 2, well, actually the back ones sit next to each other. And these ones here, this sits on top of this one here. And then they tuck up flat against the backing plate there. Now, before we go any further, we just need to make sure firstly that the tonneau cover here isn't caught up inside the rafters as we folded them up. And these straps, which there's 3 of, are hanging loose over the top of the awning. If you leave it too late, you'll go to find them and they'll be all caught up in the rafters. So make sure there's 1, 2, and 3 of these hanging out ready to secure the fabric. Now, to secure the fabric, you can see this has kind of got 2 triangles here. That's the case of the Extreme awning. The Pro awning has just 1 triangle, so it's a little bit less fiddly to sort of fold up. Don't just bunch this up, actually fold it. It's going to make it easier to get it back or to zip the tonneau cover up. So do a half fold and then a second fold like this so you're underneath the rafter here, and then you want to grab this fabric and lift it up in front of the rafter here. Don't just bunch it up underneath. So give yourself enough slack so that that pushes right up in front of those rafters there. Now I've got the strap here, so I can put it straight through the other end of the strap there, tighten that up, and that will then stay in place while I do the other 3 straps up. We can then pull the tonneau cover over the top and do the zip up. Just make sure as you do the zip up, you're pushing this fabric in up underneath so the zip's not catching on the fabric. Now at the back here, when you go to zip this up, if you find that this zip doesn't quite meet, it could be that the frame hasn't quite collapsed in. So just give that a push so that it sits nice and flush, and then the zip will do up nice and easy. Tuck your cords in under there as well. And as you go, just make sure that this fabric here is getting caught in that zipper. That did up pretty easily, and I've only practiced a couple of times. That was a single person set up and packed down of the 23.0 Falcon awnings, largely the same for the Extreme and the Pro version. Durable, sturdy awnings to give you heaps of coverage. Check them out online at snowies.com.au.